Hey guys! So a lot of games these days have some kind of way of showing you how close you are to completing the game. Whether that be a percentage, achievements, trophies, or some other arbitrary way of indicating your progress in the game. Pokemon Red and Blue, however, do not. You do have the Elite Four and the Pokédex, but that's not really everything in the game. I'm talking finish the dex, battle every trainer, get every item, do everything. So it got me thinking, how hard would it be to 100% Pokemon Red and Blue? So a couple of quick things, I wanted to complete everything on one game, and I chose Pokemon Blue just because that's the one I played the least. Now obviously version exclusives make that impossible, so I'm gonna have to play through a fair bit of Red so I can trade those over, as well as evolving the trade evolutions. I also wanted to do this with absolutely no cheats and no glitches. Unfortunately, I realized that I will need to do 3 very specific glitches to fully complete the game, so I'm allowing myself 3, and only 3 glitches that can all be done with just the in-game mechanics, so no game sharks or anything like that, but we'll get to that later. One glitch I will not be using is the missing no glitch to just load up on Master Balls and rare candies. Basically, if it can be done without glitches, I'm gonna do it without glitches. So I booted up a new game of Pokemon Blue, named myself Like and Sub, and headed out to the tall grass with no idea how much of a bad idea this really was. My first big choice in the game was which starter I was going to choose, so I decided to go with every 10-year-old's favourite Pokemon, Bulbasaur. Now the reason for this will become clear later on, but for now, our first big challenge is to defeat all 8 gym leaders, take on the entire Elite Four, and defeat Gary to become the Kanto champion. Okay, well that was easy. If you're watching this video, you've probably done this once or twice before, so there isn't really anything too exciting about this section, but the real struggle begins with our second challenge. Complete the Pokédex. So along the journey through Kanto, I made sure to catch anything I came across in just a casual playthrough, the early route bugs and birds and rats, all the varieties of cave herpes, the Snorlax, a Hitmonlee, all the varieties of ocean herpes, I picked up the Lapras, I caught the birds, the Zappy Boy, the Icy Boy, and the Rubber Chicken. I even went deep into the bowels of the unknown dungeon to tame the legendary Mewtwo. Oh! Yeah, box space was an issue in this challenge. Alright, let's try that again. A quick Master Ball to the face, and we have our legendary Mewtwo. And to be honest, most of the catches were pretty painless, because I had a cabbage that knew the attack Sleep Powder. So in Red and Blue, the way the game determines if you do or don't catch a Pokemon is through a random number generator and a bunch of crazy maths. The short version of the story is that when you throw a Pokeball, maths occurs, and if the number is a good number, you catch the Pokemon. If it's a bad number, you don't catch the Pokemon. However, when it's asleep, if the random number is anything less than 25, you catch the Pokemon regardless of all the crazy maths, so the cabbage was very helpful. The part where things start to get a little more painful is the Safari Zone. You see, the Safari Zone is split into 4 areas. The center area, Area 1, which has a very confusing sign, Area 2, and Area 3. Chansey, Pinsir, Kangaskhan, and Tauros all have a 1% encounter rate in Pokemon Blue, unless you are looking for them in the correct areas. By searching for Pinsir in the center area, Kangaskhan in Area 1, Chansey in Area 2, and Tauros in Area 3, you increase your chances of finding them from 1% to 4%, which is still terrible, but a little bit better. I actually got really lucky and found a Chansey on the way to Mewtwo, so I obviously caught it there to avoid the Safari Zone grind, but the other 3 were all very painful. You see, on top of the terrible encounter rates in the Safari Zone, the cabbage cannot put these guys to sleep to increase our catching odds. And as with everything in Gen 1, the mechanics in here are a little janky. You see, the rocks double your catching rate, while the bait halves it, all while keeping track of its flea counter, which is based on its speed stat, and a bunch more crazy maths. However, the bait does not reset back to the original catch rate. So for example, you got a catch rate of 150, catch rate maxes out at 255, you throw a rock, catch rate, now 255, you throw some balls and you don't catch it, but you want to hit it with some bait so it doesn't run away. Its catch rate is now 127, lower than if you just threw balls to begin with. So for speedy Pokemon like Tauros, just throw balls and hope for the best. For slower Pokemon like Chansey, maybe try your luck with a couple of rocks, but never use bait. And mostly, just pray to the Pokemon gods, because this took me over an hour to catch 3 Pokemon. I also grabbed a Dratini while I was here, because this little guy is much easier to grab here than to mess around with the game corner. Speaking of which, the next painful Pokemon was Porygon, which is only available in the game corner. Now I didn't realize this when I was choosing which game to play, but in Pokemon Blue, Porygon costs 6,500 coins. In Pokemon Red, it is 9,999 coins. So I am very happy that I went with Blue. However, this was still an absolute slog. So I came back to the game corner after finishing the game and beating the Elite Four, so I knew money wasn't going to be an issue. But as it turned out, money was an issue. You can buy 50 coins at the counter for 1,000 Pokemon dollars, which means even though I had the cheaper alternative, I still needed 130,000 of the monies. I tried my luck with the gambling games to see if I could hit the feature and just cash out, and that did not go well. So I figured since I still needed to evolve a few of my Pokemon, I'd just smash through the Elite Four and make up the difference. It turns out, beating the entire Elite Four only actually gets you 29,799 of the monies. So I did it again, and again, and again. And after 4 full runs through the Elite Four, I finally had enough to buy exactly 6,570 coins and collect my prize. After spanking Gaz a few more times, I managed to evolve all of my previous catches, including Ponyta to Rapidash at a surprisingly high level 40, Rhyhorn to Rhydon at level 42, and Dragonair to Dragonite at the highest level that any Pokemon evolves in these games, level 55. And I honestly thought the whole evolving thing was going to be a lot more difficult than it was, but I managed to catch quite a lot of fully evolved Pokemon throughout the run, including a Raichu in the power plant, which I didn't even know was available without a Thunderstone, so that was pretty cool. While I was running around collecting the gym badges, I also did a couple of in-game trades to grab a few Pokemon that are only available through these trades. I traded an Abra for a Mr. Mime, a Slowbro for a Lickitung, and a Spearow for a Farfetch'd, which is interesting because you can only obtain these Pokemon in Red and Blue through these trades, so they all come with nicknames, and you can't change the nickname of a traded Pokemon, so your Farfetch'd will always be named Dux, Lickitung will always be named Mark, and Mr. Mime will always be named Marcel. Also while running around, I picked up 4 Moonstones to evolve Clefairy to Clefable, Jigglypuff to Wigglytuff, the 2 Nidos up to Nidoking and Nidoqueen. I grabbed the assorted Elemental Stones to take care of those evolutions, and by the time I had evolved my Staryu into a Starmie, I had completed the Pokédex as much as I possibly could with 1 copy of Pokemon Blue. Now it was time to deal with the most difficult Pokemon in the entire game, Eevee. You see, Eevee can evolve into Jolteon, Vaporeon, or Flareon, but you can only get 1 Eevee per game, and you cannot breed in Red and Blue. The only place to get that Eevee is in Celadon City, so I had to play through the game 2 more times, all the way up to Celadon, just to get the 3 Eevees. Time to start all over again with Pokemon Red, twice. So I booted up a new game, twice, named myself Like and Sub, twice, and headed out into the tall grass, starting to really think that this may have actually been a bad idea. I chose Charmander in the first playthrough, and Squirtle in the second. Charmander just barely won the first fight against Gary, and Squirtle lost to the best starter of all time. In both playthroughs, the very first thing I did was head over to Route 22 to catch the most important Pokemon for both of these runs, Nidoran. You see, usually if I wanted to get through the game quickly, I'd just steamroll with my starter. But if I trade over a fully evolved Blastoise, I won't have a Squirtle or Wartortle in my Pokédex. And like I mentioned earlier, there is no breeding in Gen 1, so these guys cannot evolve. Why Nidoran, you ask? You'll see. In the Squirtle run, the Squirty Turtle absolutely swept Brock's entire gym with Bubble. In the Charmander run, we needed a little help, so we grabbed a Caterpie, evolved it up to Butterfree, and spammed Confusion for the win. Now both runs are basically the same from here, so I'll just quickly skim over everything. We switched to using Nidoran exclusively to prevent our starters from leveling up and evolving. Nidoran evolves into Nidorino before Mount Moon, and we teach it Water Gun to deal with the rock types. We grab a Moonstone to evolve it to Nidoking for a fully evolved Pokemon before we even leave Mount Moon. So we have absolutely no issues smashing through everything in our way. While I'm playing through the Charmander run, I make sure to grab the version exclusives on the way. Oddish, Ekans, Mankey, and Growlithe. Son of a... And eventually, Growlithe. We defeat Misty and immediately teach Nidoking Bubble Beam. We take out Gaz on the boat, we take out Surge after struggling with the bins for 20 minutes, we teach Nidoking Thunderbolt to deal with the bats in Rock Tunnel, and then head over to Celadon to grab our Eevee. Easy, right? Not so much. Unfortunately, the Squirtle run had a little bit more to do. Not only did I need to get my Hitmonchan, but there are still 2 more version exclusives to grab in this game, and they are both a pain in the dick. The first of which is only available in either the Game Corner for 5,500 coins, or the Safari Zone as a 4% encounter. I chose the Safari Zone out of the two because I'd had enough of the Game Corner's bullshit with Porygon. That may have been a mistake if I'm honest, because luck was not on my side here. It took me around 45 minutes to catch one that didn't run away, but eventually I caught Scyther. Now the final version exclusive isn't difficult to find or difficult to catch, but it requires the HM for Surf and the badge to use Surf from Koga, who decided to go all Chaozu and self-destruct on me, but luckily we still got Eevee on the team, so we get the win and we get our Soul Badge. Then after another hour or so of messing around and making my way over the power plant, I finally caught Electabuzz. Now all that was left to do was a quick bit of trading. I traded over the version exclusives and then the trade evolutions to evolve Haunter to Gengar, Kadabra to Alakazam, Machoke to Machamp, and Graveler to Golem. Then smashed through the Elite Four a few more times to evolve my new Squirtle to Blastoise, Charmander to Charizard, as well as Oddish to Vileplume, Ekans to Arbok, Mankey to Primeape, and Growlithe to Arcanine, as well as an Eevee to Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Flareon. And with that done, we have all 150 Pokemon in our Pokédex. But remember when I said I was gonna allow myself 3 glitches? You know what this is. We gotta move the truck. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. There's nothing there. But what you can do is go say hi to this guy, hit start before he sees us and teleport out of there, and then head up north and battle this guy and his Slowpoke, murder his Slowpoke and steal its tail, then head back to the bridge. The menu will pop up, bail out of that, and just like that, we've got number 151, Mew. Time for the next challenge, the items. Alright, this one was weird because there's nothing difficult about getting most of the items, it's more that it's difficult not to miss anything, and then there's a few that are just a nightmare, but we'll get to those. For this section, I actually grabbed a couple of bits and pieces from a few strategy guides and made an ugly spreadsheet to tick off as I played through the game. Most of the items are extremely easy. All the HMs are required to complete the game, well except Flash, but I grabbed that too. The potions and the balls and all that good stuff can just be bought in the marts. Half the TMs are either given to you after you beat the gyms or they're just lying around in stupidly obvious places. So I'm not going to talk all that much about most of the items, but the ones that you can't just buy are the Ether, Max Ether, Elixir, and Max Elixir, which can all be found in a bunch of different places around the map, so nothing too crazy to deal with for those. The same deal with Max Revive, PP Up, Rare Candies, and Nuggets, but you get a free nugget at the end of the Nugget Bridge, so that's all nice and easy. You get pretty much every key item by just playing through the game, but the ones you gotta watch out for are the town map at the start of the game, which is very easy to forget, the Old Rod in Vermilion City, the Good Rod in Fuchsia City, the Super Rod on Route 12, the Item Finder from Oak's Aid on Route 11, and the EXP All from Oak's Aid on Route 15. Where it starts to get really painful is the TMs. Like I said, most of the TMs are very, very easy to get, but then there's a few that just aren't. Like, some really good ones are easy to miss, like TM26 for Earthquake and the Silphco, or TM42 for Dream Eater from this guy in Viridian, or TM31 for Mimic by giving the copycat girl a doll. I actually forgot to grab TM18 for Counter from this guy and sell it on department store while I was there, and I had to go back just to get it. But the really painful ones are found at our old friend, the Game Corner. TM23 for Dragon Rage, 3,300 coins. TM15 for Hyper Beam, 5,500 coins. TM50 for Substitute, 7,700 coins, totaling 16,500 coins, or 330,000 Pokédollars. Yep, back to the Elite Four. So after 500,000 more runs through the Elite Four, I finally got the last 3 TMs, and I had collected every item in the game. Almost. There's actually one little thing you may have noticed I've been skipping over this whole time. Actually, 2 little things. The fossils. So in Gen 1, there were no hold items, which means Pokemon couldn't be traded while holding an item, which means there is absolutely no way to possibly get the Dome Fossil and the Helix Fossil in one game of Pokemon Blue. But remember when I said I was gonna allow myself 3 glitches? Yeah, this is about to get weird. So way back in Pewter, when Venusaur was still a baby Bulbasaur, we made sure that he was at level 8, had exactly 16 PP for Tackle, and 36 PP for Growl. Then this guy gets all pissed off that we haven't beaten Brock yet, but we save and reset before he can do anything about it. And when we're back in the game, he's even more pissed off that we bailed on him, so he tries to chase us down. But we're way too smart for him, because this is Breath of the Wild now, so we can climb walls and shoot ancient arrows and hang out with Zelda and shit. So we climb straight over Mount Moon, sneak in the back door, head on over to the fossils, and before the fossil man even knows what's going on, we grab them both. And now, finally, we really do have every single item in the game. Unfortunately, in Red and Blue, you can only hold 20 items at a time, and you can only store 50 items in your PC. Since there are over 120 different items in the game, there was no way that I could actually have them all at once. So rather than showing you a completed item bag, please enjoy this montage of every TM. Every HM, every ball, every stone, every healing item, every battle item, every stat boosting item, and all the other stuff. Alright, so we have beaten the Elite Four a billion times. We have completed our Pokédex. We have obtained every item. There is only one thing left to do. Battle every trainer. Now this one was easy. The only tricky part was making sure I hit every trainer in each gym before taking on the gym leader, which meant getting all of Blaine's questions wrong, which hurt my soul. I also made sure that I battled every trainer in the areas that you can't get back to, like the SS Hand or any of the rocket stuff. This one was definitely the least painful. There was no game corner grind required, there was no second games to play through, just a nice easy run through some nice easy battles. But remember how I said I was allowing myself 3 glitches? The third one is a lot of fun. You see, there was one extra battle that was programmed into the game but never implemented. And this is a good one. It's really the ultimate battle. And I'm not building this up so I can cop out with like a Route 1 bug catcher or something. No, this is really the ultimate final battle. So the first thing we did was go and say hi to the Gambler on Route 8 and fly away before he had a chance to whinge about losing everything at the game corner. Then we head back to Old Mate by the Nugget Bridge, commit straight up homicide on his Rattata, then fly down to Fuchsia City. Now to make this happen, we need a wild Pokemon with a special stat of exactly 226. Unfortunately, there are no wild Pokemon with a special stat that high. However, what we do have is Ditto. So we find a wild Ditto, we let him transform into our Gengar, and then we growl at him 6 times before he almost knocks out my only Pokemon with growl and ruins this whole thing. We then give him a doll to chill him out, head up to Lavender to pay our respects, and head out west. Menu pops up, bail out of that, and then Professor Oak, the ultimate final battle. This man has a level 66 Tauros, a level 67 Exeggutor, a level 68 Arcanine, a level 69 Blastoise, and a level 70 Gyarados. This man is not messing around, but neither are we. So we take out Oak as revenge for whatever he did to my mum while we were out catching Pokemon. And yes, I did go back and put the gambler out of his misery. And with that, we have successfully 100% completed Pokemon Blue.
But how did I do?
So the world record for a speedrun of Pokemon Red and Blue, any percent glitchless, is currently 1 hour and 45 minutes by Huangbro. Sweet name, by the way. The world record for a complete Pokédex run is just over an hour and a half by Shivu. But that's full of crazy RNG manipulations and glitches, and there's no chance I'd ever be able to come close to either of those times. See, I'm not a speedrunner, and this was most certainly not an optimal route. There was no RNG manipulation, and I used the Venusaur for most of the run, who is not exactly known for its speed. This was supposed to be the kind of thing that an average player could do. For the 2 Pokemon Red runs, the Charmander run managed to get to the Eevee in 3 hours and 46 minutes, which isn't a particularly quick run, but again, I'm not a speedrunner. The Squirtle run went a lot smoother, but had a lot more to do. So we finished up with a time of 5 hours and 55 minutes. Now the big one, the Blue run, came in at 20 hours and 43 minutes, most of which was spent in either the Elite Four or the Safari Zone. Add the 3 together, plus an extra 20 minutes or so for trading, and the entire run was completed in around 30 hours and 44 minutes, which may not seem like a great time, but as of right now, might actually be the world record, because I don't know if anyone's ever done this before. Google gave me nothing, and there's no speedrunning category for a 100% everything run, so I'm claiming it. World record, motherfuckers! Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Alright, fine, I'll do fucking Missing Note. I can already hear you in the comments. What about Missing? I'm fucking doing it, okay? Jesus. Alright, while I'm at it, I was considering doing every generation like this. This run was a lot of fun, but the thing is that shit gets pretty hectic in later generations. There's way more Pokemon, more weird evolution methods, a million more items, and I just don't know if I want to do it, to be honest. So let's set a stupidly high like goal so I never have to do it. My most liked video at the moment of this upload has like 70 likes. So if we can do like literally 10 times that, I might consider maybe doing other gens. Maybe, no promises. But if you made it this far, thank you so much for coming on this crazy little journey with me. I had a great time. I hope you did too. Oh, great. Great, break the fucking game. Well, that was 30 hours well spent.